I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday morning. We're usually not live at this time, but got a couple things to do in the morning, so won't be able to be live in the morning, so I figure we'll go live now. Spoon will actually be live. Your show's at 11, right, Spoon?
Yep, same time yours normally is, 11 o'clock. Walk-off wagers over on Pub Sports Radio. Come check me and my guy, Wine Time Out. We're going to be joined by a guest that was in your voice chat tonight, TJ, and should be a good show tomorrow.
That was the guy who shared the ballpark-specific pitch mix stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that guy. All right, cool. So we got Cab stepping in again on late notice.
Hey, I loved it, man. I loved joining you guys last time. I told you, though, I'm just like, I just got home about 30 minutes ago. I've already found a couple bets I like, so that's good. I just have not had time to deep dive like I would like to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I texted him about 90 minutes before the stream, and he goes, I'll be home in about 45 minutes. So he's just showing up here. I got a few bets. As far as Saturday, I had a cool one. I placed 3 bets. I went 2-1, and one of them was the White Sox plus 140. Actually went back to the White Sox for Sunday, so pretty excited about it. Got lucky because the games that I almost bet, Astros, what did they lose by 12 runs? I like the Mets. They got smoked also. So the games that I kind of got lucky today. I feel like I should have had a losing day, but I didn't. I'll take it. Sunday. And honestly, we're starting with the game I like the least. I honestly think Spoon kind of agrees that this is a tough one. I want to bet Boston. I'll put Boston up. I'm inclined to trust this Red Sox lineup against lefties a lot more so than against righties. You guys have heard me say over and over again, I can't do this Red Sox lineup against right-handed pitching right now. Ever since they lost Evers, that's just not a lineup that can hit righties. I know they got to Bassett today, but other than that, I mean, they've been the worst lineup in baseball against righties. It's not really the case against lefties. I mean, they'll throw Ref Snyder in the lineup. They have some pieces that can hit left-handed pitching. So I trust Boston to score some runs off Lauer. I'm already talking about this game too much because I don't like it at all. It would only be Boston. I also like how the Blue Jays immediately fly home to play the Yankees on deck. So super important series starting tomorrow. No days off for the Blue Jays. Boston doesn't have to travel anywhere. They have Cincinnati coming in, which is an interleague play. I mean, not as important. So Boston really wants this one. Meanwhile, Toronto's got to worry about the Yanks starting tomorrow. So only Red Sox for me, but no bet. Spoon?
Yeah, so Walker Buehler's kind of the X factor for me in this game. Obviously, his last few starts have not gone that well, giving up 13 earned runs and 11 hits along with 11 walks. But that's against Seattle and LA, and they're both on the road. The walk issue is just a huge concern. If he can get that under control at home, I really would like to back Boston, but I don't know. When you see that many walks, it almost is like something's broken. He can't control the pitches he wants to. But looking at home, seven innings, 3 earned versus Tampa Bay. I think that was a really good start. 5 innings, 2 earned versus Baltimore, and blanked the Mets over a short start in his first appearance. I think Walker Buehler can pitch well here. He struggles with lefties, and that's where I want to circle this Toronto team. They don't have the lefties to hit him. I believe this is just a Boston or pass spot. I haven't bet it yet. I probably won't, but Boston money line would be the only way I could go.
Cap, did you find anything for this one?
You know, I bet Vlad Jr. today, and I laid minus 109 for it, which is like total basis, which I don't do that. Usually if I'm going to bet that, I'm going to take a plus money because I can't stress enough how important the plus money is on props. Like you got to have it because if you're going to hit 50%, you want to be up units at the end of the season when you're betting it. So your average line is so important with props. A little different on sides, I think, in totals. But I took Vladdy yesterday, and today he's showing at a plus 107. And after going 4-0, my reasoning why I took him yesterday still stands there. You know, this is a park where hitters love to play. I mean, you gotta romanticize, the fact of go into the green monster. And before today, with 50 games played on the road in Boston, Vladdy was hitting 360. Obviously, he went 0 for 4 today, so that number's going to drop. But he's still, hitting well over 330, which is outstanding on the road in Boston. You look at his last 10 games, hitting about 280. If you're going to give me plus money, I'm going to do what I say and go back to the well. If you're going to take a prop, you got to take it again. If you miss it, you can't just swing and miss and move on. So I'm going to practice what I preach right here with Vladdy.
Vlad over bases, and I'm assuming the standard over bases, coming from someone that doesn't play many props, it's always going to be 1.5 unless you say otherwise, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's kind of like a standard. Yeah, you're right. Unless it's like the Dodgers playing the Rockies, then you'll probably have to be at 2.5. But you won't see me do that very often. So
right. Next game is A's Yankees, and I have a bet in this one, and I kind of don't. I feel like the numbers look kind of suspiciously low, but it is the A's, so it is one of the worst teams in the AL. So maybe that should give me a little bit of peace of mind, but. I took the A's to get to 4 runs, and if there's a path, if someone can make an argument for Marcus Stroman pitching well, I'd love to hear it personally. He looked terrible, hasn't pitched in a while. I mean, when's the last time Marcus Stroman looked good? And by the way, I'm a Mets fan. I like Stroman. He was like, I know it didn't end well out here, but he was like one of those guys that was really pumped to be here, and I'm a Marcus Stroman fan, but I don't really see how you can have a ton of faith in him right now just coming back. How deep into the game is he even going to pitch? The A's bats haven't been all that bad. That's not the A's lineup is not the reason they're losing games. They're capable of scoring runs. So I got a over 3.5 at -140 just to get to 4 runs. It's really nice run scoring. Well, not really nice. We got a slight wind blowing out to right field here in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I personally think this should be a lot more expensive. I think this should be 4.5. So I'm on this. A's team total over 3.5. I think Stroman could realistically give this up in the first 3 innings of the game. Spoon, are you with me?
Why do we have to isolate it just to the Athletics? If we look at Luis Severino, he struggles with lefties, and you can see that with his starts versus Detroit and versus Baltimore, giving up 5 and 7 earned runs. This New York team, while Aaron Judge is not a lefty, a lot of their other bats are Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Ben Rice, Austin Wells. And I don't think Aaron Judge really cares what the guy's splits are. He can hit anyone. I think these Yankees bats can also get to Severino. I don't have a bet in this game, but it would be the full game over. I don't think I just want to isolate it to the Athletics just in case. Marcus Stroman, he's a seasoned vet. He's shown the ability to step up many times before, and we're looking at 3 games that he's pitched, and that's such a small sample size. We can't trust small sample sizes, especially in a sport like baseball where they play 162 games. Some of these pitchers are going to start over 30. And if we're looking at 3 short starts where he hasn't even thrown that many pitches, I don't think it's fair to say that he just won't pitch well here because we haven't seen it yet. What happened in the past isn't necessarily a predictive stat. And he's, like I said, he's shown the ability to pitch pretty well. I think Severino is very liable to give up the runs to the Yankees. That full game over, but I'm not on it.
I don't disagree that Severino can get hit up by the Yankees. I just thought it was a little more variance on that side. I felt safer. And when you said just the 3 games isn't a small sample size, but then you went and touched on it. I'm talking about last year, too. I mean, it's been a while since Stroman has looked like a premier pitcher. And, I mean, he's 34 years old. He's getting up there. Thank you for the super chat, Razor Sharp Picks. That's the horse racing guy. That's one of Ski's friends, for those of you that watched during the NBA season, Razor Sharp Picks. Cab, did you get a chance to look at this one?
Man, and just so you know, there's only a couple where I won't have thoughts here. I agree with both you guys. Kind of my thoughts were a little bit more on the line of where Spoon was with just the over. If there's one reason why my money won't be on the over, it's because, lately these 2 teams can't hit themselves out of a wet paper bag. I mean, they're just terrible at the plate. They've been anemic. I mean, I know the Yankees showed signs of life a few games ago against Cincinnati, and I know the A's hit well today, but still, take those 2 games out. These teams have just been awful at the plate. Outside of that, I like the over. I think both of these pitchers probably are going to have, a tough time. I don't see any reason why. Spoon, I hear what you're saying, but Stroman's not going to go out there and dazzle us. That's what's not going to happen. Okay, he might have a good inning or a couple innings, but he's not going to go out there and just dazzle us. And in my personal opinion. I don't see any way that's possible. Like, he's not going to have a long enough leash. And on top of that, like, I mean, just kind of take Ohtani as an example of, you know, how it takes. You got to get your feet back in the water. It's a tough thing. So over, guys. Just no bet on this one yet.
I think based on the way Spoon was talking, it sounds like he kind of thinks Stroman's going to pitch well. He didn't come out and say it, but I don't know. The way he was talking.
You also asked for the argument. I was trying to play devil's
true.
advocate a bit, but I did the same thing in the voice chat when everybody was starting to go off Stroman. This is one of the shortest pitchers in baseball. I've always kind of questioned his ability to perform that well. He pitched for the Cubs for a while, and I never really fell in love with him either. It's not a pitcher I would love to back, but I do think, like, the range of outcomes right here, you simulate this game 10,000 times. I think he has a good game a few thousand times.
Perhaps. I mean, pitching against the A's doesn't hurt. Let's move on. Tampa Bay, Baltimore. I think I ended up betting this one. Actually, you know what? It was that guy TJ in the voice chat. So I initially spoke up, and I was like, guys, I think it stays under 10. And I just spoke about how I was leaning towards the under. 10's a huge number. Creamer, look, you'll never hear me sit here and say the Cream Machine is a reliable starting pitcher, but he has pitched pretty well of the last few starts. I think 3 of his last 4 starts have actually been solid. Again, I'm not saying that means we can rely on him, but you take that and combine it with the fact that historically, if there is a spot to back Dean Creamer, it is at home. He's historically better in this ballpark. So Creamer, who seems to be throwing the ball pretty well right now, at home, where, I mean, he's been historically more reliable. He just blanked this Tampa team. That could be a negative that they just saw him. I think Creamer could be all right here. And on the other side, Taj Bradley, I mean, he's been pretty rock solid. He just got rocked by this Baltimore team 2 starts ago. They scored, like, I don't have it in front of me. It's like 7 runs in like an inning and 2/3 or something. So Baltimore just rocked him. But, I mean, other than that, he's like 7 of his last 9 starts have been solid. So Taj Bradley's been pretty good. He's been pretty good on the road as well. So in my opinion, I think we could get 2 solid performances from starting pitchers here. I'm not expecting a 2-1 baseball game, but 10 just felt a little high. So I expressed that I was leaning under, and then that guy TJ in the voice chat said he liked the under also. So I said screw it and pulled the trigger. I'm on the under in this one. Spoon, I don't remember what you said about this game, to be honest.
So I pointed out that Taj Bradley has pitched in Florida a lot this year. That includes Miami and his home park there in Tampa Bay. And if you look at the games outside of Florida, Kansas City, he gave up 0 earned runs. New York Mets, he gave up 0 earned runs. Houston, he went 7 innings pitched, gave up 0 earned runs. The Yankees, 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs. I think this guy is a lot more comfortable pitching in cooler weather. I think this is a spot where he's going to be the better pitcher on the mound stuff-wise. You touched on it. Creamer's pitching really well this year. This is a guy in spots I'd like to try to back him, but the way the Rays bats are hitting right now, the way they're just rolling in general, they won by margin tonight, so the bullpen got a nice little time off. I think this is a Rays spot. I don't see any other way to go about it. The big thing here, like you're talking about, 6 earned runs in an inning and less than 2 innings. That's a huge thing. But Creamer also pitched against this Tampa Bay lineup, and he gave up 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched. So they got to see him 2 times through the order, 2.5 times, and nobody hit him all that well. But what they did get to do is get adjusted to his mix. And I think a lot of times in baseball, we'll see a reversal. Like if a pitcher gets to see a team twice, the first time they might pitch well, and then the second time they pitch much better, or vice versa. And I think this is probably a spot where that happens. I haven't bet the Rays yet. I kind of want to, but there's enough keeping me off at this point.
I don't hate the bet. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rays close at -115. But I'm on the under. Cav, do you anything here?
I was going to ask you, do you like to fade recency bias? Like in your, do you take that?
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious. I kind of felt that through the last 2 times we've been up here. And I've tuned in. I heard you say you wanted the Rays to go on a 15-game losing streak the other day too. I did hear that. So look,
I was in a mood.
He said a mood. That's great. Look, what I'll tell you guys is if you do think both pitchers have a chance to have a good game here, I gotta lean Rays as well. I mean, they're two teams trending in two opposite directions, and don't look now. This Rays team they're for real. Okay, I know you might not want to hear it with wanting them to go on a 15-game losing streak, but I mean, shit, with the 258 team batting average, their pitchers are starting to do better, starting to get in a groove. I've always liked how Tampa Bay handles their pitching. They're one of those organizations where it's a question of what they're going to do at the plate. And right now they're doing a good job with their approach as a team. I mean, it's Tampa or pass here. This team's got the momentum. And I agree with whether good or bad game. I think it's a wash on the mound, realistically.
I would need, in order to consider Baltimore, I would need like plus 105. I think at close to a pick, I don't think I could get there on either side. I don't hate the Rays. You can get like a minus 101. I don't hate the Rays at that number. Phillies Braves. I'll let Spoon talk about this one. First, I'm just going to put up a quick pick. The way I would go, and it's probably all of your first reaction upon looking at the pitching matchup and looking at the way these two starting pitchers have looked in their last few times out. Strider looks like he's getting his shit together. Hasn't really gone deep into games, but he looks like he's starting to feel comfortable. Somebody mentioned in the voice chat he started talking some shit too, which you like to see the confidence coming back. Ranger Suarez has obviously looked untouchable. We were talking about, he hasn't pitched against anybody. Well, he's starting to see good lineups, and he's still dominant. So if I was to bet this game, I would just go right here. It's probably the same bet all of you thought when looking at this one. I would just go with an F5 view here. I think you can get a 4 minus 105. I'm not placing it. But I honestly think, you know what would be a fun bet? To place an exact score after 5 innings, 0-0. I think this game might be 0-0 after 5 innings. Pitcher's duel will probably be a lot of fun to watch. F5U for me. Spoon?
So Philly's in a spot where they're about to get their best bat back probably Monday. And the rest of the lineup here has been performing pretty decently without him there. I think there's a spot where Philly can get to Suarez. Like you said, I pointed out that he hasn't faced a lot of good lineups, and his numbers look amazing on the season. Houston did not do anything against him. He almost went 8 innings. They only got 4 hits off him. He gave up 2 walks. I just don't trust Ranger Suarez to be able to continue to do this over and over again. I don't have enough to go on this game. You're mentioning Strider is pitching better, but I still see his walks up. He had 4 walks in his last game. He's still learning to pitch with that internal brace that he got in the offseason, and I don't think he's comfortable. I don't think it's the same Spencer Strider that I'm used to backing, and I don't think that the walks are a huge deal to me. The 4 walks, until he gets that under control. This is a guy that has very good control, can pinpoint balls on the corners of the plate. And if he's not doing that, it's not the guy I want to back. So it's just too much volatility. I don't think he can control the ball exactly how he wants to. I do like seeing the confidence out of him, and maybe that's all we need to know. This guy knows himself better than anybody could guess. So it would be Atlanta for me only. I'm not a Suarez guy.
Not a Suarez guy. Cab, which of these starting pitchers is more likely to get hit up?
Spencer Strider, man. Look, but I say that as somebody who's tried to pick the right time to fade Suarez over the years, and every single time he has kicked my ass, man. I will not fade that dude. It just won't happen. Suarez has been somebody who's been lights out if I've ever had a bet against him, or if I've had a bet on the over for some reason. He's been lights out. At an 8.5, one of these guys is getting hit a little bit. And the reason why I say Strider, you kind of touched on his walks. He does not have a deep arsenal. It's fastball, slider. If that slider's not there, if his slider's not on, he's not going to have a good day. If it's on, Spencer Strider can be electric. We've all seen it. Anytime his slider's off, he struggles. And that's not something I want to pick and choose when to bet on. I'm not going back to the well with Acuna. I had him at plus 110 today. He got a hit his first at bat over 1.5 total bases. So I thought I was, cruising. And then he proceeded to get walked his next 2 at bats, which is always a danger of props. But I'm not going back to it just because I don't think he's going to get to Suarez. He's only 3 for 16 off Suarez. Not good numbers. You look across this lineup, not very many people have good numbers off Suarez. So under is, even if it's square, I like the under. That's probably where I'd go here.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised you didn't throw out a Marsh. Oh, no, Marsh.
Oh, I did something for you, though. I counted my bets on him. So I bet him 15 times this year, Kyle. 15 times. I've got an average line of plus 130 with him, and I've gone 10-5. I mean, come on.
Time to sell your stock, bro. Just get out now. So someone said, Westbury in the chat said Suarez always pitches well against the Braves, and I pulled up his stats, and for the most part, that is kind of true. There are a couple bad starts in here. He got hit up a couple times actually last year, but before that, he has decent history against the Braves. I wouldn't say great, but it's not. His last start, he looked good against Atlanta, but he did get hit up by the Braves twice last year. So, all right. Let's move on to the next one. Mets, Pirates. We bet the Mets. I completely forgot about this bet. So I did bet the Mets. Wow. Is it minus 157 now? What did we get, Spoon? What was it at? Wasn't it like minus 142?
It was a lot lower than that. I got a -1 that I bet mine at. I can look at the juice. It was higher than minus 142, I believe.
I can look at my slips right now. I'll put Mets -1 up for you. But you can go ahead. Mine is based on the spot and the Mets likelihood to empty the bullpen here for this one. But go ahead, Spoon. You can go first.
Yeah, so the Mets have a day off. They have a pitcher on the mound that is making his second start of the season. His first start versus Atlanta went very well. 5 innings pitched, only 3 hits. These Pirates bats, any way you want to look at them, they're not very good. On the full season versus righties, they're 28th in WRC+. Frankie Montas, we just touched on Strider, has a small pitch mix, only 2. Montas is a guy that goes 5 pitches deep, and he uses all of them very, very frequently. I think this is a guy that can pitch very well against the Pirates. I'm a fan of Mike Burrows. He's not the highest rated prospect in this Pirates organization. There's probably 2 or 3 pitchers that over the next few years are going to come up and shine brighter than he has. But I think Burrows has been a very serviceable starter, and I think that's what gives us the price to be able to bet the Mets here. That -1, I think I got it minus 114 on the Mets. I wanted to scrape the juice off. I think it was around 150-ish when I was looking at it, and it was too much for me to just lay right there. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm on the Mets. Took the money line. I got them at minus 148, by the way, and you could still get that on FanDuel. So I thought it was minus 142. I misremembered it. Minus 148. And yeah, a lot of the same things you said. Obviously, I'm not thrilled at the idea of backing Montas, but the Pirates have a series against St. Louis starting tomorrow. The Mets have the day off. Pirates just beat the Mets twice in a row. They're far more likely to save a couple arms for the much more important division series on deck. Blah, blah, blah. I like the Mets to win. Cab, anything in this one?
Yeah, as much as I hate the guy, I probably feel about this guy how you do about Marsh. I mean, I'm just going to say Juan Soto, like, there's no chance that I wouldn't fucking peg him.
Why do you hate Juan Soto?
Is it the shuffle?
The shuffle, man. I'm a pitcher. I swear to God, I'd peg him. I swear to God, man. And a lot of people have this stupid new cockiness to him at the plate. A lot of the kids that I work with do it too. And it's like, bro, you put on gloves before you put on your gloves and your elbow pad and your shin guard. It's like, God damn, what is going on nowadays? Like, there's 15 things you got to strap on before you step in the box nowadays. And it's all because of Juan Soto. I blame
It is not
him.
all because of Juan Soto.
100% on his shoulders. So that stupid just shuffle. All that being said, I'm betting on the dude tomorrow. It's at plus money for his total bases right now. As much as I don't like him, you know, he's having a bit of a down season overall, right, average-wise. But in his last 10 games, hitting 333. And I think Burrows is just somebody that, you know, you look at that 132 whip. It's not the walks. Like Spoon said, he's not walking people. He's not missing barrels. He's given up one more hit than he has innings pitched, which is never really something you want to see. That's not terrible. It's just, you know, he is giving up a lot of hits. And I think Soto, you know, as somebody who's seeing the ball lately and having, you know, a bit of a turnaround on an average, let's get in on it right now. So Juan Soto over 1.5 total bases. How
crazy is it after all the criticism and everything that's been said that Juan Soto is now in the top 10 of baseball in OPS this year?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like, as much as I hate him, man, if he wins me money, I don't.
I like
I'll
Soto.
wear a Boston hat tomorrow, a Yankees hat. I do not care. I'm not a fan of anybody other than people that make me money, which is why Marsh is the GOAT, just so you know.
I don't hate on players for holding out for the best financial opportunity, because I would do the same thing. And I think when a player is in that role and gets like the market-setting contract, it comes with a lot of shit. Even the most likable players get some hate in that role. So that and the combination of like not the best fielder, there's a lot of shit that like piles up to make him a little bit unlikable. But I'm a Soto guy. I'm also a Mets fan though.
Some context for that: the Mets played in some of the most pitcher-friendly environments to start the season. Obviously, they have a home field of Citi Field, but they play just a lot of games in northern environments, low temperatures. The high temperatures really make the baseball fly, and I don't think it's a coincidence that as they're playing in nicer weather, his batting statistics are coming up with it.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I finally text my brother, who's a Mets fan, the most negative Mets fan ever. Like, Soto sucks, like 3 weeks into the season. Like, relax, dude.
You sent the text or he did?
No, he's the most negative, like, overreacting fan. He's also a Washington Wizards fan. He has a tough life. But anyway, Padres, Reds, and Cincinnati. We talked about this one in the voice chat. I think the price is a little off. Not enough for me to bet it. But I lean towards the San Diego side because personally I would have this one Cincinnati minus 120, Padres 100. So theoretically I would have a few cents of value there at the plus 115 you could get. I personally don't think there's enough lefties in the Reds lineup to scare me off Kolek. I mean, we've seen him pitch well against righties. He's got great numbers against righty bats. You wouldn't really know it because like he's kind of perceived to be a bad pitcher, and there's been some really ugly outings here for Kolek, and we've heard Toast talk about it as a Padres fan. But if you look at his game logs, there's like a bit of a pattern, excuse me, a bit of a pattern forming here with Kolek. Okay, so here are his game logs. Look at the bad starts. Washington, full of lefties. Pitched pretty well against the Dodgers. Arizona, what's true about them? Full of lefties. Pitched pretty well against the Brewers. They don't really have lefties. Giants before Devers. They have like no lefties. He pitched shutout here. It's 5 2/3 shutout. And you go back here. I mean, there's just a pattern. When he sees right-handed bats, he could be serviceable. And the Reds, they have a couple dangerous lefties. De La Cruz is obviously going to be batting for the left side of the plate. TJ Friedel, that new kid, Benson. I guess he's not really new. He was there last year. But I personally, I just think the price is off by about 10, 15 cents. And that's where I think it closes. But I didn't have it in me to place the bet. So Padres are pass for me. Spoon?
Yeah, put me up for Reds or pass. I don't have a bet in this game yet, but both of these teams have a travel day where they have to go on the road and play tomorrow, so it's equal weighted playing field there. Like you mentioned, Kolek really struggles with lefties, and TJ Friedel's a really good lefty bat. Ellie De La Cruz is a good lefty bat. I think Gavin Lux, formerly of the Dodgers, is a good bat. Will Benson, I think they can get to Kolek here. On the other side, I think Nick Lodolo gets a bad rep for not being able to pitch at home. I push back on it. He only gave up 1 earned to the Yankees, 2 earned to the Minnesota Twins, 3 to a really good Arizona lineup that was healthy at the time, just 3 to Chicago Cubs. And we're talking about a really offensive park here. Like, I think those are really good numbers at home. I think you take a guy like Kolek. I remember early in the season, I think probably most people do, that 9-inning shutout in Coors Field. I don't think that happens here. I think he absolutely gets rocked, and there's not enough here in the bullpen, and the Padres lineup is much deeper, but this is also a travel day. If somebody's sitting people, I would imagine it's a big bat in the Padres lineup, and maybe that's why it's 10 cents off already, because they know that the travel day, the people inside have a better idea of who's going to sit. A lot of times catchers, that's not a big deal here. So I don't have enough on it to fully move, but I have a very strong lean to Cincinnati.
Cab, anything here?
Yeah, I made a strong statement my first time on here, and I just want to back it up and reemphasize that I don't change a damn thing about what I said. I stand by it. I don't give a fuck what Nick Martinez did in the last game that he pitched. He was throwing middle center, upper part of the strike zone with 92 mile an hour fastballs and an 89 mile an hour cutter. The Padres shit down their leg. It was not Nick Martinez. He is still a bag of ass. I just want everybody to be clear on that. Nick Martinez sucks. I probably should have been on the Padres today. I let my anger for the fact that they could not hit terrible pitching all night cloud my judgment. I let recency bias, like we brought up earlier, cloud my judgment, and I didn't bet the Padres today when I should have. I think I'm with you here. I think they're a good bet. I'd want the lineup, like Spoon said, with it being a travel day. I want to make sure that, Machado, everybody's in. I want everybody in, but I like the Padres here. Give Kolek a little bit of a chance. Stop walking people. If the kid can stop walking people, he'll figure it out. That's one of those things. Just you can't have, 42 strikeouts and 20 walks. That's too many free passes. If you cut the free passes down, I think he'll be all right. Out of A&M, if there's one thing I'm kind of a fan of, it's, I guess, A&M's football team and some of their sports. So I've kind of followed him for a bit. I think he'll be all right.
Padres.
So yeah, I like the Padres.
Yeah, Padres are pass for me. Let's move on to the next one. We kind of talked about this one for a while. Rockies.
The Guardians game?
Did I accidentally skip it?
Yes.
Oh no! You know what? I have it. Yes, let's go to we'll do that one now. It's at 12:05, so it sorts by time, so it puts 12 at the back. So we'll do Cardinals. We'll do this one right now. We're supposed to do this one first, and I like this bet too. So this is a good one to start with. You know how many comments there's going to be that they're going to click and not see this one first and be like, let's see if they're able to find it deeper into the video. Yeah, I'm on Cleveland at plus 108. First of all, we all know how bad Cleveland's been against left-handed pitching this year. They've started to climb out of it a little bit. By no means will I say Cleveland's good against left-handed pitching, or we could trust Cleveland against left-handed pitching. I'm just saying they're starting to turn a quarter, and I want to show you guys here because it's actually, I think you guys will agree with me when you look at this. So we got a lefty-lefty matchup here. Liberator against Logan Allen. And historically on the season, that'd be auto bet on the Cardinals because the Cardinals have been hitting lefties. Liberator's been good, and Cleveland hasn't been hitting lefties. But when you actually take a closer look, so Cardinals starting to fall off against left-handed pitching. They're actually dropped back into the bottom 10 in the last 30 days, 20th at WRC+, plus, bottom 10 in the last 14 days. And if you look at the last few lefty starters, I mean, Andrew Abbott, 7 innings, just 3 base runners. He blanked this team. Then Matthew Boyd, 6 shutout, just 3 base runners. Imanaga, 5 shutout, just 2 base runners. So not only were they unable to score runs on the last few lefties that they've seen, they couldn't even get guys on base. So St. Louis might be crashing and burning here against left-handed pitching. And Logan Allen, I mean, he's not Logan Allen of last year. He's been serviceable. He's not a great starter, but he's not a blind fade. Like, you remember old Logan Allen? It was like, oh, team total over, or like as soon as you see his name. That's not this year's Logan Allen. And on the other side, again, we know Cleveland's been bad against lefties. You don't need me to tell you that. The numbers are bad. They've been bad overall. They've actually been the worst lineup in baseball in the last 30 days. But if you scroll down and look at the lefties that they've seen, there are signs of life here. They did get to J.P. Sears a little bit. Okay, it's J.P. Sears. 8 base runners against Eric Lauer. 7 base runners, 3 runs against Robbie Ray. They crushed Lodolo. So, yeah, when we start getting back here, this is where, like, the chart cuts off. But if you went down, to, like, here, they didn't get to any of these lefties. But you look at the last 5, they're showing signs of life. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland's winning the game after 5. And when we get into the late innings, St. Louis has a division game on deck, no days off, immediately flies to Pittsburgh, a more important game. Cleveland has the day off. And not only that, their bullpen's completely rested. Clase, Cade Smith, Gaddis, they haven't pitched in days, like 4 days. So even if Cleveland's down 1 late, they're still going to use those guys because it's their turn to work. So even if Cleveland's down in the game, they're still going to be alive. They're using their best arms. So plus 108. I'm on Cleveland. I like this one. Spoon?
Yeah, I started out by pointing out in the voice chat that I thought it was a huge advantage for Cleveland to have the day off tomorrow. I think that gives them the ability, in case Logan Allen, probably the biggest X factor in this game, has a bad start, to be able to take him out early and still have a chance to win this game. That being said, I don't think Logan Allen will have a bad start. I think he can pitch pretty well here. I like when a guy gets to stack consecutive home starts, and he hasn't really had an opportunity to do that many times this season. Looking at his start versus Houston, he gave up 4 earned runs. Then he came back at home again versus Cincinnati and only gave up 2 earned runs there. And I feel like this is just a good spot. 4 good games in a row for him right now, or 3 good games in a row, and this will be a 4th. I'm on the same bet as you, plus 108 on FanDuel. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. I think this is my favorite bet. Favorite bet as of right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this one, and might be a little bit crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if this one closes out close to a pick, like a minus 105. So yeah, let's do it. Cleveland up. What do you think, Cab?
I didn't have enough thoughts on this one to weigh in an opinion when you say it's your favorite bet. I think I'm just going to let this one stay off and listen to what you guys have to say on it, because like I said, when I looked at this one, I really didn't have a feeling one way or another anyways, so I'd have to dive into it to really get a thought on it.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is, obviously, we have to go back to, where were we on? Game 6? We did San Diego. Rockies. We were about to do Rockies Brewers. Okay. So Rockies Brewers. We talked about this one for a while. I'm not going to waste everyone's time in talking about this one. At current price, it would only be Rockies or pass. You guys know, if you're looking for a spot to take a big home run swing on a bad team, Sunday getaway day isn't a bad time to consider something like that. It's a plus 208. Someone was saying, talking about how Chad Patrick throws the cut fastball and the Rockies actually have really good numbers against cut fastball. But then TJ pointed out that those numbers are not ballpark adjusted, which is kind of like, yeah, no shit. They hit cut fastballs better in Coors. Color me shocked. But I do think the Rockies might hit Chad Patrick. I agree with that. I think it was Sports Science Jacob, actually, that like the Rockies team total over. I don't hate that at all. It'd be Rockies or pass. Spoon, anything?
Yeah, Herman Marquez, don't look now, but his last 14 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's only given up 1 earned run, and that's against a really good Dodgers lineup, a Nationals lineup that's shown the ability to hit, and Atlanta. So I think we should give some real thought to this Rockies team. I don't think I necessarily need to do the money line. There's probably a plus 1.5 or even a 2 available at a price that I would consider. I don't have a lot of faith in Chad Patrick. That being said, it's the Rockies bats, and they were hot for a little bit, and their numbers on the road over the last 14 days reflect that. They're 10th in baseball. Last 30 days, they're 13th WRC plus in baseball on the road. That's not at home. That doesn't include any Coors nonsense. So I think this is a spot where the Rockies are live. You get all that value with the plus 1.5, plus 2 kind of runs. So many games are decided by 1 or 2 runs. I think that's a bet that I'm going to strongly consider.
Cab, anything here on the Rocks?
Man, I respect like the fact that you guys can find the balls to bet on teams like the Rockies in certain situations, because I know that there's value, and I understand it's baseball, and it's like on any day the best team can lose to the worst team. It doesn't matter. You can be minus 450 and they're going to lose. There's a good chance they could lose because it's baseball. I get it, but I don't bet the Rockies, and I'm not interested in Milwaukee at minus 260. Last time I bet the Rockies, a couple years ago, shout out to Jose. He was in town and we went to a Rangers game, and I took the Rockies team total over with him, and I bet it a couple times throughout the day because we were going to the game. So I probably maybe invested a little bit too much on it. And it was either the 8th or the 9th inning, and the Rangers were up like 11-3, and all we needed was 1 more run, and we got it. Man, I started yelling, screaming. I took up out of my seat, yelling, running up and down. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy, man. They're like, does this guy know that they're still down by 12 runs? Like, what is he cheering about? Like, I don't care about that. We're done.
Game over. 3.5. We're good.
Let's go home. We're done, baby.
All right, let's move on to the next one. I am not betting that. Just want to be clear.
Okay.
Giants, White Sox. I bet this one and maybe push my luck a little bit. So I went right back to the well at the same exact price. I hit on the White Sox plus 140 today. Went right back to the White Sox at plus 140 again. I mean, the Giants are going to have to show me they can hit. I know Jonathan Cannon's coming back from an injury. I believe it was Adams Digest that pointed out that he only threw 45 pitches, I think, in his rehab start. So very questionable as far as what we're going to see from Jonathan Cannon in this one. And I also don't think Tyler Alexander is available. So it's not like they can give the ball to him. He threw 54 pitches on Friday. So as far as after Jonathan Cannon leaves the game after like 3 innings, kind of a toss-up. But that being said, Adrian Hauser threw 7 innings tonight, and then Grant Taylor took it the rest of the way. So everyone else, I mean, Steven Williams, Iser, Leisure, Tyler Gilbert, I mean, all of the White Sox arms essentially are available. So I think it's going to be Jonathan Cannon for 3 and then a pure bullpen day. And these White Sox arms aren't that bad. I mean, I know what the White Sox are terrible. I don't think Steven Wilson's a bad relief pitcher. I don't think Jordan Leisure's a bad relief pitcher. Look, I'm grasping at straws a little bit. It's plus 140 with a home dog. The Giants can't hit. They immediately fly to Arizona for an important division series without a day off after this. It's the White Sox. It's Verlander, who's been a blind fade. Just a lot of things pointed to Chicago here. Maybe pushing my luck because I won it today, but I went right back to it. Chi-Town. Spoon.
I'm going to push back on it. I think this is a Giants spot. I would only be able to bet it at a -1. It's not on my card yet. So Jonathan Cannon, obviously, you just mentioned it, is only pitched 3 innings in his AAA rehab start, 50 pitches. So there will definitely be a pitch limit on him today. This is an arm that White Sox definitely value. They'll trade him to get more prospects here in a year or two. And I think Justin Verlander can really do some work versus this White Sox lineup. Looking at the projected lineup, the White Sox catcher that made probably the game-saving, like the guy that you need to thank, a double play, picked a runner off of third when they had second and third with 1 out. Good batter up at the plate. They get a ball, and he picks the runner off at third. That catcher won't be in the lineup. He's a young rookie. I don't have the name in front of me right now. He's been a really good bat for them. I think this is a spot where you have a pitcher that's not going to go that far. A bullpen you're saying you trust, I don't. And missing one of their young bats that's kind of changed the way they've performed. I think there's a lot of right-handed bats in this Giants lineup that can get to Cannon. This is a spot where I could only be on the Giants. I know it's disgusting because they haven't scored a ton of runs, but sometimes that's when you need to get on a team. This is still the White Sox. This is a Giants team I expect to finish 25 games ahead of the White Sox by the end of the season kind of thing. Why? Maybe that's a little far, but I don't see any. I don't like the bet, to be honest with you, Kyle.
Well, it is the White Sox, so some risk is involved when you bet them. Now, I will say, Duvall, Randy Rodriguez, and Tyler Rogers all pitched on Friday, so maybe the fact that they have Arizona on deck, they could get a little coy with the bullpen arms. Who did they use today? I didn't mark who they used today. They used Eric Miller and Tyler Rogers. So Tyler Rogers is not going to be available. He's pitched back-to-back days. We'll see.
I like the fact that these two guys were born 2 decades apart. Like, you got one dude that was born like early 80s and the other dude that's born the year 2000.
That is
wild,
crazy.
man.
Are you a Verlander guy?
Man, so I always have been. I hate, but if you've listened, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if you make me money, and in the years past, he's made me money. Of course he has. It's Verlander, and I've found ways to bet him, whether it's, you know, having to take a first 5 run line. But man, stop, dude. You're ruining it. I want to picture the Verlander that was untouchable, you know, that was going home to, you know, the Kate Upton pillows to lay his head down at night. Like, that's the Verlander I like, not this San Francisco Giants 0-5 fucking 42-year-old man that's still trying to make it happen. You know, I guess he's 40 or 41. I don't know how old he is, but damn, no, I'm not a Verlander guy anymore. I have been.
He's 42.
So I got it right. There we go. 42. I got it right. Sad to see.
I will say, Giants gave him a $15 million check. I'm playing. I'm playing too, man.
You're right. No, yeah. You're right. I guess when I say that, it's just like hard to watch like fall apart. But yeah, there's no doubt I'm not taking that. And you get to the playoffs, it's like he's somebody that I want, even if he's been struggling. It's just experience matters at that point in time in the season. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm on the White Sox is this dude just can't get outs. But
Yeah, I mean, someone wants to cut me a $15 million check. Any of the 30 teams, if you're watching, I am available. I'll send you my mixtape. Dodgers on the road in Kansas City. I have no interest in betting this game. In fact, I believe when we were talking about it, we weren't even sure on who was pitching, right, Spoon?
Yeah, so LA's going to have a bullpen day, I believe, unless they have a AAA pitcher I'm unaware of that could possibly start today. So you're going to have one of their long relievers, maybe Robleski, eat some majority of the innings. I think there's a ton of respect being showed to Chris Bubik. I see a minus 110 when we were talking in the voice chat on the Kansas City Royals, and that's an alarming price for the Royals versus the Dodgers. I think that tells me all I need to know, that you could put me up for Royals on the board. I don't know if I'll get there with my money.
Yeah, I don't even want to say anything. I have no idea. Gab, do you have anything for this one?
When I did have the little bit of time I had to look, I didn't have pitching in this, but
Yeah.
I guess we got it now. I don't know why I didn't have it, but I didn't have it. So
No,
I
it's
didn't
still,
know.
I mean, Odds Logic still has undecided for the Dodgers. So even this isn't confirmed yet.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't know. And that's where I start my cap at personally, is on the mound. So I got nothing.
Yep, same. Nothing for me either. Let's move on to Cubs, Astros. Look, you know what, Spoon? Go ahead, because you're strong on this one. And I'm not. I'm throwing out a lean. So why don't you go? You go ahead, Spoon, because you sounded pretty confident with your bet on this one.
Yeah, I have an actual bet that I've already placed on this. It's Astros minus 108. Astros. I don't have it if it's minus one or money line. I just have the actual price on it, minus 108. I'm not looking at the odds now. But this is Framber Valdez at home. This is a spot where I always want to back this guy. On the other side, we got Jameson Taillon. I think if we look at his last two starts, he's given up 13 earned runs, 16 hits, and 3 walks. I think these Astros bats can definitely get to Taillon here tomorrow. He's really good at pitching to lefties, and that doesn't help you when you face this lineup. You're going to be probably faced against 8 righties. Looking at a couple different projected lists, I only see Victor Caratini as a switch, and I expect him to hit from the right. And then Tremel, left fielder, hitting from the left. So I think they're going to stack righties against him because they know Taillon struggles with righties. This is a spot where the Astros at home on the full season are 10th WRC plus. I get the Cubs bats are really good, and they could probably get a run or two off Framber, but I think if we look at their numbers versus left-handed pitching, it's not that great over the last 30 days. They're 21st in baseball in WRC plus, and I just think this is a spot where we can really just put our money on the back of a horse, and that horse is Framber Valdez. I'd like to ride it, and yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen. All right, so look, there's really no numbers that point towards the Cubs hitting Framber Valdez. I mean, Spoon's right. On paper, they should not hit Framber Valdez. He's been very, very good. He's very, very comfortable pitching in this ballpark, like Spoon said. The Cubs have not been getting to lefty starters. That's something we've been talking about for, weeks now. Here they are. Where are all the runs? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. They scored 3 off Heaney, but they only had 4 base runners. Ashby's supposed to be a bullpen arm. Liberatore didn't touch him either. It's been a minute since the Cubs got to a lefty starter. It's been like over a month. So there's nothing here to indicate the Cubs are going to hit Framber Valdez, who's been rock solid. I feel like we're long overdue for... Framber Valdez, great pitcher, but once a month he gives you the everyone bets him and he sucks, the Framber Valdez sucks game, where Framber Valdez sucks is trending on Twitter, and we haven't seen a Framber sucks game in a while. I kind of was leaning towards, and it makes no sense at all. This is stupid. I didn't bet it. Cubs team total over 3.5. You can get a plus 105. I think that's a super affordable price for what's been one of the best lineups in baseball. There's nothing that indicates the Cubs can hit Framber. There's nothing. This is like quote unquote, I got a feeling. So I didn't bet it, but it's going to be Cubs team total over a pass for me.
I think, you've seen me do a lot of props, the the little bit we've been here together, but I love team totals. One of my favorite things to bet. And I think, we think a lot alike when it comes to that. It's one of those things where it's like Valdez, we can all agree, he's one of the best lefties in baseball. I mean, there is no arguing that, but you said it, you've got a Cubs lineup, that, all year has been hitting the ball. You can use the whole year as a sample size if you want. You got plus money at 3.5 runs. I don't hate it. I also don't hate your bet with the Astros. I kind of think there's runs, and I know that it's hard to make a case for it, like you said about taking that team total over, but the atmosphere was electric in that ball. I mean, we've had 20 I don't even have it, 23, 24 runs in the first 2 games of this series, right? So obviously, the atmosphere is conducive to runs. I think there's runs in this game. If the first 5 is an affordable 3.5, I'll take it. But I'm not laying juice with it because, like you said, Valdez. Like, how do you make a case going against him? It's a very hard sell.
That guy in the voice chat, TJ, who said going on the show with you tomorrow on Pub Sports Radio, he likes the over here. He seemed pretty confident with his over 7.5. So, yeah.
On the note with the overs here, I just want to point out that Ballpark Pal does a projection of how they think each park will perform every day, and this is at the very bottom of the list at minus 7% runs. And just to note, they're really good at how they do their models. They put a lot of information in it, and I think that's something to be noted.
And they have it tilted towards the under.
I didn't look at their actual game projection, but it's minus 7% runs overall. This stadium has a roof on it, so it's not going to have a huge variance as far as that goes. It's a place conducive to ground balls. Framber Valdez pitches to ground balls. They groom the field that way specifically for him. Tyone's a guy that's not going to be able to take advantage of that.
All right, Spoon. Talk to me about Seattle, Texas. I kind of think both starting pitchers are going to get hit up personally, but this is just like knee-jerk reaction, throwing something out there. I really don't know. I kind of want to bet Texas or over, just knee-jerk reaction.
That makes a lot of sense to me. This Seattle team historically has always done so much better on the road. They play in a pitcher-friendly park up there in T-Mobile, and Texas is not one of the most offensive parks to be able to play in, but when you get out of the park that you normally play in and get on the road, I just think it's better for the bats. There's a ton of lefties in the Seattle lineup, and if you look at Jack Leiter, he has pitched better versus lefties to this point in the season, and it's pretty significant. I think Jack Leiter has the ability to sort of pitch decent here. I like a pitcher at home, and Castillo is a guy I would like to fade. That's the part of the over that I like the most. So maybe like a Texas team total. I haven't gotten there with a bet. I think Leiter's a better pitcher than what he's shown us at this point. He's had some really bad starts. The last 3 starts, he's given up 4, 6, and 3 earned runs, and that's to Minnesota, KC, and Pittsburgh. Those aren't good lineups. The Seattle lineup is hitting much better than any of those. Cal Raleigh is just an absolute beast, and I don't have a strong enough lean to actually go there with my money right now.
Yeah, and I think as far you said over or pass, right? Sounds like you were leaning towards.
Yes.
Yeah, same for me. Except I would kind of lean Texas, or kind of sounded like you agreed with that. Is this enough of a sample size for us to say, okay, Texas is crawling out of the slump? Because we know this team has been hitting in like 6 weeks, or pretty much the whole season, if we're being honest. Okay, they got the Brandon Young, made some noise against Charlie Morton. Let's see, Mlodzinski, that was a bullpen appearance. Made some noise against Mitch Keller. They got to Burrows. I mean, look, not that these are like incredible, but at least there's some crooked numbers in here. There's 4s and 5s rather than you scroll down. There's a lot of 1s when you start getting to a few weeks ago. So over or pass. By the way, speaking of the Seattle,
went to extras, so bullpen pieces were used on both sides.
Yeah, I should check that out. This is when I started preparing for the show, so I missed this section. I'm going to check the bullpen now. Speaking of the Seattle ballpark, there's this guy on Instagram that does like bats. He like tests different bats, and like he hits like nukes, and they track like the bat speed and the launch angle and all that. And he'll be like, "This is the Louisville whatever." And
talking about like the King of JUCO.
You know what? You probably know exactly who it is. But did you see recently he went to the Seattle ballpark and hit there? Did you see that?
I haven't seen any recent videos, but I definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so he hits nukes, and he hits the ball like 500 feet. Now, he tests all different kinds of bats. He'll use like metal bats and shit sometimes. But he hits the ball like legitimately 500 feet or more. Like, he crushes it. And he went to Seattle with a wooden bat and smoked it. He was like, this is the hardest I could hit it. It was like 381. So, like, that's just tell you how crazy that ballpark is, because I've seen this guy smoke the ball repeatedly over and over again, and he crushed it, and it went 381 in Seattle. So, any thoughts on this one, Cab?
Yeah, Spoon, I think you're the Rangers fan. Everybody always tries to give me crap and call me a Rangers fan because they're like a local team. And I do bet a lot of different situations with this team, but I've been very successful. And I think I'll probably go back to the well with Josh Smith. Hits, runs, RBIs tomorrow. Minus 115 for the hits, runs, RBIs. He's cashed it 7 out of his last 10 games. I listened to you guys' take on this, just thinking that y'all are going to see runs here. If y'all think there's going to be runs, him in the leadoff position with a number like that on hits, runs, RBIs is something that I've found valuable throughout the season for myself. As far as a side goes, this game is important. I thought the first game was a real bad loss for the Rangers, and I was kind of surprised that they bounced back and won it today. A lot of you guys, Spoon, were on it, so good call with that. I personally I just felt like it was a real bad loss. But then extra innings today, they go there and take it. They win the ball game. So shit, I don't know. Thoughts on the side? I don't know. But I like Josh Smith. Hits, runs, RBIs.
Yeah, real quick before we move on, I'll do the bullpen updates here. Just take 2 seconds. So they're both teams are right next to each other. So we got Seattle. Who did they use?
Munoz pitched pretty poorly in extras. I know he threw quite a few pitches.
He won't be available anyway. That's back-to-back days. Brash threw 20. He won't be available. Holy shit. Spire, he pitched. Holy shit. And Vargas. Wow. All right, they're cooked. And then the Rangers. Garcia pitched. Luke Jackson did not pitch. Hobie Milner, he pitched. Only 7 pitches. He might be available to go 3 in a row. Chris Martin only threw 6. Cole Winn didn't pitch.
Chris Martin's coming back from an injury still. They're probably not going to try to push him.
So based on this, dude, the Mariners bullpen is bad. I might bet this over. Let's bet this over. What are we waiting for?
All right. Where's the best number?
I'm looking right now. The bullpen situation put me over the edge. There's an 8 on Caesars. I'm in there.
I would go ahead and put my bet in, but my book is an asshole and I can't get my prop in yet. So
there's an 8 at minus 115 on Caesars taking it.
I do like this Josh Smith bet though. I'm glad that I'm gonna get there to the window with this one for sure. I'm starting to like some of the bets that I'm putting together on this card tomorrow. So
zeroing in.
You're
on
gonna get
stuff?
4 or 5 bets.
Yeah, I like this, man. I like going over it. The night before it. It's kind of sometimes I like to.
This was supposed to be we never used to do the midnight show. This was supposed to be just a fun thing where I was expecting just like 100 people of our core just to play around and look at the stuff, and it turned out fast forward 2 months, it was the most watched show on the network. So I was so I said screw the day stuff. We'll focus on this. It kind of happened by accident, but it's awesome. It's also awesome to be done. Where I wake up in the morning and all I have to do is check the CLV. I'm done. My work's done. It's all I have to do. It's almost like a slow all right, what's tomorrow's games? It's almost like I feel like I'm always ahead rather than waking up okay, I got a show in 2 hours. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just it's different. I always feel like I'm 8 hours ahead of the game rather than 4 hours behind, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense, man. That's how I like to have or at least know about what I'm going to bet so that it's not a workload in the morning. I like to be able to just kind of zero in and have that. And then I'm bang, bang, bang. All right, let's make money.
Yeah, and for me, obviously, I do the show and then I post bets for everyone to see. And there's just no anxiety when I wake up. Because I wake up and it's everything's posted, show's done, everything's done. So it's wake up and I enjoy my coffee and plan out my day peacefully without stress. It's a game changer.
Nice.
Nats on the road in LA. Did the Nats end up winning tonight? No, they lost 8-2. I didn't even see the Angels go off. It was like 2-2 last I saw. Kokonowitz. How's Kokonowitz against lefty, Spoon?
Just a second, pulling the spreadsheet back up. So Kokonowitz versus lefties, he struggles with them more with a 4.83 xFIP on the season, a WHIP over 1.6, and a 3.93 weighted on base for the hitters against him. Those are all really subpar numbers, not anything you'd like to see. This is a spot where I'm more worried about the pitcher on the other side, and that's Mitchell Parker. This was pointed out to me by my friend Jimmy, the bag over there on Pub Sports Radio when we were on him in a Miami game. He gave up 6 earned runs in that stadium, and it was really hot. It was humid. It's going to be in the really high 80s tomorrow. There's going to be 50% humidity. I think Mitchell Parker is a guy that struggles with the heat, just the sweat coming off him. He looked very uncomfortable, like he was melting into a puddle, and it's not anybody I trust at all. And this Angels lineup, I've said it over and over again now, I think we need to draw a line in the sand when the managerial change happened and just look at how this team is performing now. I think they're really going to get to Mitchell Parker tomorrow. I know that Mitchell Parker struggles with lefties and the Angels aren't necessarily packed with lefties, but I really believe that they will get to him. So that leaves Kokonowitz. Do you want to trust him or just go for a team total? And that's kind of where I was left. We only had so much time to prep, and I'm doing another show in the morning, so I'll have gone over all these again and maybe have another bet or two as well. Likely will. Angels in some shape is probably going to make my card. I don't trust this Nationals bullpen. I don't trust the Nationals starter. I think I'm just painting the Angels team total for myself. That's probably what I'll end up with, but I haven't bet it yet. I really like it.
I put up over 9.5. I think that the Nats can hit off Kokonowitz. Like you said, his numbers against lefties are and they leave a lot to be desired. Really nice weather, hot, wind blowing out. I agree that the Angels can probably get to Mitchell Parker, but I think the Nats can get to Kokonowitz. In fact, I'd like the Nats to get to Kokonowitz a little more so than I like the Angels to get to Mitchell Parker. So I would actually lean Nats team total over, but I think we could join hands in the middle with the over 9.5. Cab, any thoughts on this one?
If you gave me $100 and told me I had to bet it on this game, only because it's not my money, I'd probably take the over and the Angels in a parlay together. I don't do very many parlays at all if it's my money, but if I had a free $100, that's what I'd do. And the reason I say that is I'm not racing to the window to bet on the Angels with Kokonowitz sitting at 3-8 with the 1.55 WHIP, 38 walks to only 59 strikeouts. Like, I'm damn sure not excited to bet him. But the reason I say the Angels is because, don't look now, but they're winning baseball games. I always talk about the ebbs and flows of baseball. They're definitely the team that's trending hotter in the last few games out of the two teams. So, yeah, I think there's going to be runs. Obviously, it's going to be a hot day in LA, like you said, Spoons. We're going to get runs, and I kind of would lean to the Angels' side.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull the trigger on this one, but I
won't bet it. Yeah, just so everybody's clear, I will have $0 on this game. If you want to give me $100, I'll bet it for you, though.
Marlins are on the road in the desert, and this Marlins lineup, man, I had the over 8.5 in this one. Such a sweat-free bet for me. I mean, the Marlins came out firing. They scored, I think it was Charles in our group, had Marlins first 5 team total over 1.5. So he needed 2 runs for the Marlins in the first 5. They got it without recording an out in the first inning. I mean, this Marlins team came out single, the runner went to third, then single again. Like 3 straight hits. The Marlins are hitting right now. I don't it's a road getaway day, which is a spot we love to bet. This Marlins team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they don't travel, but they have the Giants coming to town tomorrow. So a much more important series, division series. What's with this price? Plus 158? I would say fish again, honestly. But I'm going to take a look at the bullpen stuff. We're at the point in the card where me and Spoon both had to leave the voice chat to get ready for this. So the last couple games, we're kind of just freestyling here. Spoon, did you get a chance to look at anything in this one?
Yeah, so you're leaning the opposite way that I'm leaning in this game, and that's fine. But I look at the Marlins versus left-handed pitching. It's nothing special, mediocre. 18th weighted runs created plus on the full season, and they're 28th weighted runs created plus in the last 14 days. And this is a pitcher in Eduardo Rodriguez who is starting to pitch quite a bit better. His first few starts this year, he got rocked by the Phillies, Dodgers, and Giants. But since then, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs, and he throws with his left hand. And I think this is a spot where he can shut down this Miami lineup. I look at Eduardo Rodriguez. He's a couple years removed from being an ace on that Detroit staff, and he really started the season poorly. I think that lives in everybody's mind, and I think that we can take advantage of that still. I don't think people realize he's pitching better. I don't know. There's not enough value here to be able to do anything with it. I wouldn't want to pay a -1 with this bullpen and everything right now. So, and you also don't necessarily know who's in this lineup because this lineup is still pretty banged up. I probably won't have a bet in this game. I just like Rodriguez to pitch well.
I disagree with your criticism of the Marlins against lefties. Let me show you. So, yes, if you look, he's right. In the last 14 days, they're one of the worst lineups in baseball against lefties. But they haven't really seen any lefties in that span. And the lefties they did see, Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo, who they hit up bad. Mackenzie Gore, they were even active against. They had 9 base runners. So the Marlins have gotten hot in the last week or so. They haven't seen any lefties in that span. So if I'm saying I like the Marlins bats because they've gotten hot, I don't think data from before when they got hot would necessarily dispute that point. But regardless, there's some good names on here. I am not an Eduardo Rodriguez guy at all. So I think the Marlins hit him. I think I'm talking myself into a fish bet here. You with me, Cap?
I am, man. I heard you say the -1 and talking about, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what do you mean -1, Spoon? You got plus money, a plus 158 sitting there with the fish, with the Marlins, man. Like, I mean, they're hot as hell. What do you want me to say? This baseball team has been putting up runs. They've been winning baseball games. It's always comes back to the ebbs and flows. The Marlins, they're hot right now. And as far as pitching goes on this game, say it's about a wash, maybe a little bit towards Cantrell. So since that's a wash, maybe a little bit of a lean towards Miami's starting pitcher, I definitely give it to him on the side. I'd say this game's about a 50-50, and if you're going to tell me it's a 50-50 with a plus 158, what the hell are we doing, right?
I believe they call that plus EV. Yeah. And not to mention, the Marlins were able to win today only using Bender. So, because remember, the Marlins bullpen was taxed tonight. That's why part of the reason I took the over was the Marlins had no bullpen. The Marlins didn't really have a bullpen today. They still managed to get the win, and Arizona used their arms. Shelby Miller, Ryan Thompson, Beeks, all those guys pitched. Now, they're probably going to be available, but the Marlins have won 6 in a row. They've got tomorrow off. Diamondbacks got the Giants. I'm betting this, man.
So Quantrill's a guy that does not go deep into games. They probably made that bullpen decision because they knew they would need to back him up. I wouldn't be surprised to not see him even come out in the 5th inning, to be honest, in this game. There's a lot of bats I like. Perdomo, Marte, Pavin Smith, Eugenio Suarez. Like, I can't get there with Miami. I hear you guys. Baseball's a juice sport. I think it's priced this way for a reason in a game you guys perceive to be a 50-50 split. That's your opinion. I don't have a bet in it. Good luck if you're placing it.
And it is okay to obviously have different opinions, but this Diamondbacks team is not as good as they were, last year like this. And I think that some people still are trying to hold on to that. I don't know if that's you or not, but I mean, these teams are damn close, if you want to just go to record wise, right? We're talking about a 4-game difference or a 3.5-game difference.
So at the end of the season, do you expect the Diamondbacks and the Marlins to be in that same split? Like they'll probably be right there,
no.
Or are the Marlins going to lose a bunch of games and this is one of them?
No, but right now they're hot. So what do you?
How about this? The question should be, what would I think these records would be at the end of the season if Corbin Carroll doesn't play? No, I wouldn't expect the Marlins to have the same or better record than the Diamondbacks, but this isn't a -110 bet. We're talking about, I just got a plus 160, by the way. Let's go, Fish. Came through, got my over for me today. Bring it home.
Work.
Sunday Night Baseball, and this should be a fun one, man. Always fun to watch an ace on Sunday Night Baseball. Always fun to fade an ace on Sunday Night Baseball. Who wants to take the Twins with me? Haven't even looked at it. I just know right off the bat I want to take the Twins. There's no better Sunday Night Baseball, Sunday Night Football, plus 228 underdog. Tell me part of you doesn't want to just take that just to have a great time. Cab, what do you think of Scooble? Are you a Scooble guy?
I mean, am I a Scooble guy? No, but how can you not appreciate the dude, right? I mean, he's elite. I mean, there's no other way around it. But I stick to my guns on certain things, and this game is going to be one of those times when I stick to it. I don't care if it's Superman and Jesus on the mound. If you're going to give me a 3.5 or better in the first 5 innings of the ball game, I'm going to take it. So I will probably be on the first 5 here. I can only bet full games at this point in time on my book. I got a few hours before I can actually bet the props in the first 5. But I think this is a first 5 over that I'm going to be on. You know, I saw somebody in the chat say something about information with the cap. I know we set it off the top, but I didn't have a ton of time to prepare tonight for this. So my bad if there's not as much information as you know you would like to usually have.
He got about 45 minutes notice.
Yeah, and I wasn't even at home but it's all good, man. It's all good. I like these bets, and I like working through it and getting to where I want to be with you guys. So this is awesome.
Yeah, that's theoretically what the show was supposed to be, was us working through it. Now, it's turned into, we usually come into it ready to roll, but the original midnight show was supposed to be our like reactions to looking at it for the first time. That was like what it was supposed to be. It has since evolved, but that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Spoon?
I'm looking at a 6.5 total on ESPN bet right now, trying to figure out why I don't just pay the juice and take the 6.5. I look at Chris Paddock. You look at his xFIP versus lefties. It's 5.25. That is a terrible xFIP versus lefties. The Tigers are full of left-hand hitters. Colt Keith, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Wenzel Perez can switch. One of my favorite young bats in all of baseball is Parker Meadows, and I really think Chris Paddock gets touched up tomorrow. And I trust the way you cap games. If you have even a little lean to the Twins, that means Tariq Skubal can be touched by him. And if we look at his last few starts, he gave up 2 runs to a Pittsburgh lineup that is much worse. And the Athletics, they're probably on a similar level, but I think we can get a few runs off Skubal. And if not, maybe the bullpen can give him up. The Tigers bullpen over the last 30 days is in the bottom third of the league in ERA. This is a spot where that over looks enticing. ESPN Bet does a thing where they don't give you a full number, so you can always get a juice side of it. And a minus 135 is what you have to pay right now. That's a lot of juice for a total, and it's kind of what's keeping me from doing it. But I already said baseball is a juice sport. You need to be able to pay it if you want to win on some of these like big 6 lines here. Player prop market is completely different, and I'm strongly considering this over right here, right now. Sunday Night Baseball unders is one of the most popular things I hear in just the betting community for a long time right now. This is just such a small number. Like Cab already said, I don't care if it's Superman and Jesus on the mound. Like
That's
6.5 runs.
Freaking wild, man. 2.5 is unacceptable. That's too low. I don't care who it is. I don't give a damn who it is on the mound.
That's what I'm saying. And I think I might bet this right here. I mean, come on. Twins team over 2.5 at plus 105. They're the road team. They're definitely going to bat 9 times. Plus 105 to get to 3?
That's wild. I'll probably take that as well, guys.
Guys, this isn't the Pirates or the White Sox. The Twins bats have been all right. I mean, this is a top 5 lineup in the last 30 days.
Buxton's always hitting home runs. Skubal struggles more with righties. Buxton is a righty. Jeffers is a righty. Castro can hit from the right-hand side. Correa hits from the right-hand side. Ty France. Brooks Lee's a switch. Harrison Bader, Christian Vasquez, they're going to do all they can to try to get those runs off him. I like the look. Like I said, I think the full game is how I want to isolate this because I think Chris Paddock can give me all 7 of those runs.
Do you think Skubal's strength of competition here is the discussion? A's, Pirates, Orioles, Cubs. That's a good one. Royals in Kansas City, the worst home lineup in baseball. Cleveland against lefties, the worst lineup in baseball against lefties. Cardinals is a solid one. Boston, Rangers haven't been hitting all year. Angels before they were hot. I mean, I think strength of schedule is a conversation here. Where are the games against the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies? Where are those? Where are all those games? I want to bet this, honestly. I'm probably going to bet the Twins team total over Twins some variation because that price is crazy. All right, Spoon.
So, I said a 3.5. It might be a 3, and that if this comes down to 6.5 at some places, that first 5 total could be a 3. It is a 3.5 right now, though. If it goes down to a 3, then because it was the Pirates Brewers game the other day, they had that first 5 total at a 3. Ridiculous number. The Brewers hit it themselves, obviously off Skeens. It's just too small. I'll be on that 2.5 with you guys as well.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to bet some variation of that. I also, now I'm thinking about it, I like the Tigers to get to Paddock too. So maybe I'll go Twins team total over and Tigers team total over, but put a little bit on both or the full game over or something.
That first 5, man, those first 5 overs are a thing of beauty. Full game overs get
I like
sketchy.
first 5 unders. I have more success.
Really?
The F5Us is my thing. F5 under 4.5. I have a high hit rate on those this year.
Yeah, but I don't do that 4.5. It's 3.5 for me. So I'm
you
looking at the numbers. Yeah.
Spoon, where can these people watch your show in the morning?
Over on Pub Sports Radio. It's another YouTube channel. We're doing the same stuff. We're going to be breaking down this whole card again. I already said it. Wine Time and TJ are going to be joining us. I bet you Cab pops in. All my bets are always posted down there on X. And having a really good week. Really excited about it. Just want to keep it going.
Cab, where can they find you?
Same place, man. Pub Sports. Hopefully here, maybe doing some college football like we talked about. Cannot wait for college football, college basketball. Those are my favorite thing to gamble on. Baseball's been my whole life, but as far as betting goes, college football, college basketball take the cake. I do a show on Mondays. It's called The Sesh on Pub Sports Radio. It's a little different. It's more of a hangout. There is betting. We do give you guys best bets, but it's more of a hangout and it's kind of like a vibe to set the tone for the week. So check it out if you guys get the chance. But thanks again for having me, man. I love doing this.
Yeah, college. I don't think on a one day in terms of serotonin spike, it doesn't get better than betting college football Saturday. Nothing hits like that. Now
I can't sleep, man. I wake up, dude, like every Saturday morning is like a little kid at Christmas. I wake up just eyes wide open. It's 4:00, 4:30 in the morning. It's like, dude, what am I doing awake?
I have this studio decked out. I have TVs everywhere, and somehow like 3 p.m. I'm like, I need 2 more TVs right now. Like the App State game isn't on.
Right? No, yeah.
Yeah. So I on a 1 day sample, college football Saturday over everything. The wait kind of sucks because having a losing football week, you have to sit in that for a few days.
Oh, dude, it's the worst.
The hateful comments and dude, where it's in for example, you have a losing baseball day, you wake up and it's already the past. It's over. I'm on to tomorrow. It's so that part, having losing football week sucks.
I like to act like we should be some model for everybody to look towards if we're on screen, but I'm not perfect, right? And when I have all week to bet something, I overbet it sometimes as well. I'm like, man, I do really like this bet, and then I hit it again and hit it again. And, then I look, it's like, man, why did I bet this 4 times this week? I could have just done it once. We would have been good.
Yep.
But, it is what it is. I love it. That's why I do it, because I love it.
Same. All right, everybody, have a good night. Talk to you all in the morning. Betting league stuff will be up in about 20 minutes. I'll be up for a while doing college football.